Hello, and we're live with Mr. James Rance.
Hello.
And, hey Google, are you okay?
I'm more than okay. What can I do for you?
Be silent. Okay, he's good like that.
You don't need Google.
I'm enjoying a lovely cup of green tea.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing my own version of Sober October. Mm-hmm. You're having a nice natural blonde.
Yeah, these are cheap, man. These are real cheap. You go to Aldi for these.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Aldi?
Yeah, $10 for a 6-pack. That's cheap.
That is good,
By
eh?
any standard.
Have you seen those rivets at Aldi?
Rivets is like the
It's a beer,
or-
yeah.
Can't
20,
say I have.
26 standards, $24, you know?
That's easy.
Are they 5%ers? They are.
Nearly. I think they're like 4 point something. But it's a good beer. And as far as I'm concerned, beer is just kind of one of those things you just drink, but you don't drink. You know, whatever
Yeah.
you can get your hands on, it's like, it's
All beer tastes pretty much the same
It
to
all
me, yeah.
goes in, comes out.
Maybe there's some that's better, some that's worse.
Yeah.
Anyway, beer, great. Who are you? Can you
Who
tell
am I?
everyone who you are?
In a nutshell,
Yeah, give
Very
us a
hard
little
to
bit of a
do.
nutshell.
I am living in Melbourne as a,
As a Kiwi,
I'm from New Zealand. Zealand,
like
bro.
a Kiwi in Melbs.
Yeah,
kind
I'm
of.
a Kiwi in Melbs, just like every other Kiwi in Melbs. That's
Woo.
me. I'm here, I'm working, I'm in a band,
Mm-hmm.
playing drums for a band called Skelter.
Skelter, rip.
Yeah. And it's very cool. Like, we're just living in a house at the moment in Yarraville,
Yeah.
which is over that way. And it's fun.
Yeah, you're
really
enjoying
fun.
that, eh? I'm just going to pull this down a bit.
Oh, am I hidden? Ooh, it's a bit more of a suggestive angle. It's lovely.
Anyway, Yarraville, what's the go down there?
It's just a cool, quaint little area. It's pretty close to like the industrial part of, I suppose, like the western suburbs. You know, you got Brooklyn, Altona North, and just Altona area in general.
So west of the CBD, yeah?
yeah, more or less, man. It's as if you're coming in from Geelong or say that area. You know, you come in. That's sort of the first area you'll see as you drive into Melbourne. So
Yarraville, cool.
yeah, it's close to everything. It's easy to get there.
And work? What are you doing?
So I'm working at a music distributor called CMI, and they're just around the corner from us, which is real fucking
Handy.
Oh, so lucky, man. So lucky.
So handy. And what do you do there?
Just so I'm working in service. I'm testing amps and guitars, doing a bit of spare parts as well. So any returns that come back from stores, or you know, anyone who buys stuff from us, they might want to get a warranty claim, and we sort of like either repair it, or we send it off somewhere to be repaired, or it just gets chucked in the rubbish basically, and we replace it.
Yeah.
There's like different decisions you make based on what the case is at hand.
Yeah,
but
right.
it's a cool job, man. Cause
Yeah,
it's
you're liking it?
I am, yeah. It's music, more or less. Like, it might not be, you know, playing on a stage, but it's still very much relevant, and you learn a lot through doing it, and cool people.
Yeah, what skills are you getting through it? Are you doing like customer service stuff? Or
Not a
no?
lot. I do a bit like email-based customer service. Like, it's
Oh,
just, it's pretty much
Yeah.
just customers around Australia, essentially, like people in Western Australia or up in New South Wales. They might need a return authorization, if you know what that is. It's
Nope.
you know, something
Enlighten
that,
me.
if something's broke, you fucking send it back, get some money back on it, or you
Store
replace
credit.
it, store credit, whatever. Like, it's all based on what the situation is at hand. So you sort of make those decisions as you go,
Yeah.
and it's cool. You see a lot of stuff that comes back, and you get a chance to sort of test it. Like, really nice. You know, we do Korg keyboards and a lot of the arrangers and
Yeah.
Chronoses, if you've heard of them. They're just like
No.
these massive kind of workstations. If you think of like a MIDI keyboard that can essentially do everything that a full orchestra could probably play, you're just thinking like everything
Like
is just
digitally it makes the sounds.
it works
Yeah.
as like a. I mean, some of them you can plug other inputs into them
Yeah.
and record through them, and like it's pretty limitless, man. And we do, you know, Rolli keyboards as well.
Yeah, they're
and
cool, eh?
very cool, like expressive keyboards, man.
Yeah. Man, how good is technology getting in music?
Yeah.
Like, are you seeing it on the front line? Like, you're slowly...
Man.
Can you compare it from... Because I don't know that much tech about music.
Yeah.
I've never really got that much into it.
The thing is, I'm the same, but I'm
okay,
I'm
yeah.
quite amazed myself at how quickly it's progressing. I mean, I suppose it's existing in every avenue of technology.
Yeah,
Everything's
yeah.
sort of just
A
progressing
fast
so
developing
quickly.
thing, isn't it?
For sure. But yeah, music's no different. Like obviously musicians need certain standards, you know, especially touring musicians who need to be on the road and they need gear that is dependable. Like digital mixing, man, is like a whole new thing where you don't even need to plug stuff in. You know, you kind of just have it all operating from the same thing. You walk around a room with an iPad and you mix, and everything.
So it's like
responds.
a portable DAW, like a DAW.
Yeah, it does everything that a normal plugged-in mixer would do, but you don't need to be
shit
next to it. You can be other side of the room, you know, testing acoustics in a particular part of the room. And
is it like synced up Bluetooth or something? Or
yeah, fucking PAs do it now, man. Like JBL, they do Bluetooth-enabled pairing, so you don't even need to plug it into an input like a device or whatever. It's all just
Bluetooth.
Yeah,
man, Bluetooth, It's
easy.
a crazy thing. I think about just a couple of years ago, because I always wear headphones. I wear headphones fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Whether it's listening to podcasts or it's listening to music. Mainly one of those two.
Yeah.
But these are the first sets of headphones that I've had that are Bluetooth. And it's a fucking game changer. I tell you what.
It is, man.
Those cords are annoying.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You don't realise how annoying they are.
You don't want to be actually connected to something. You just want it to just sort of be there, sort of channeling in whatever it is that it's got. And if you can be here, but the device over there, and you still get the same response and service, then man, that's it.
Neat. Even just when even when this shit went wireless, it's a game changer.
Easy.
Like PS2 back in the day, had to have it all connected up.
Yeah.
Chromecasts, how mean are they?
Hard out, man.
They're so mean.
Everything is just kind of going through the roof right now. It's kind of like a bit of a race. You know, everyone's trying to sort of think of the next competitive angle or something that's just going to change the game again, and it's almost just an endless journey, really. You know.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like
everyone's
that's cool though. Like everyone's trying to innovate and make the world.
Yeah, that's it. Just trying to improve the world, and everyone's got different agendas. I think different ways of viewing what the world actually needs. You know, some people think that we just need to protect the planet and just sort of try and fix it, be more sustainable. Others are more like, well, we just need to be able to get to work faster or you know, do something a lot easier. And
some people are like, we're good right now. Let's just leave it exactly.
That's it. The traditionalist. I consider myself to be such a person. You know, I can walk around with a fucking 10-year-old phone and still be happy. You know, I don't feel any need to, you know, go out
upgrade,
and, you know, get something that I probably won't really need.
But I do have the iPhone XS.
That's the exception, of course. Yeah, but I'm not really into that whole just money for nothing.
Well, it's like a materialist world that we live in a little bit now, isn't it? With all this technology, because it just keeps, like you say, it keeps advancing. So everyone needs to keep upgrading it.
Yeah.
So like we're always trying to buy new shit.
That's it. Yeah, and stay ahead. You know, make sure we're still fitting in with what everything's kind of telling us to do. Like with Google Home as an example, right? That blows me away still, man. Because
it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't understand
It's so common now. Like you go into a shop, you go into Office Works, and it's just
they're cheap.
Yeah.
They're like $60 or something.
Yeah.
What?
It's insane.
Game changer. What are they going to be like in 5 years?
Oh, they'll just keep
2
advancing.
years?
It will be like, you know, we were saying before, we want to be able to order some Uber Eats or something, you know, just have it happen. That's what they're working on, man.
Everything.
Like,
digital assistant, hey?
in the end, we'll just be so complacent and so steadfast with our laziness.
Yeah,
you know,
hard.
that we won't need to even get off the couch to go do something. Everything can just come to us.
There's got to be some bad blood that's coming with that, you know?
Perhaps, yeah. Well, someone will be capitalizing, you know. They'll be making money from that condition that I think we're all capable of having, you know. It'd be so nice just to wake up on a Sunday and have breakfast brought to you or to have, you know, the coffee brought or whatever. Like, everything will just be made easier.
Yeah, it will.
Just to fulfill that.
I don't know if that's going to be a good thing, though.
Probably not.
Because when everything's easier, like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Where's our ambition gonna come from? You know, what's gonna get us out of bed in the morning?
Yeah. Where's the drive? Where's the meaning? Where's the purpose?
Gotta have the power, man. Like you still gotta have control, I think, of certain things that just you can't really go without. You know, like your basic instinct to sort of feed yourself, or to like having something that kind of.
But are they just going to make like a pill?
Drive. Yeah, well, I don't know.
They
something
can just like
fulfills it,
suss
right?
it out.
Yeah, it just kind of numbs you to a state where you don't even think like that. You know, our emotions sort of determine what we want. I think a lot of the time, if we didn't
Definitely.
feel
Our instincts
what
as well.
we wanted, yeah, we'd just kind of be like, we'd be a bird in a tree, or just be completely sort of just passive
Yeah.
about what is around us. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Back to your Melbourne experience so far.
Yeah.
So you're living in Yarraville.
Yes.
Who are you living with?
Living with my band, so and my girlfriend as well. And
That's Skelter, right?
yep, that is the band. So we're currently doing a bit of work with Tom Larkin. So
You're right. Who's he?
he's the drummer from Shihad.
Oh,
and
Shihad.
Yeah, he's a good
Big
dude.
old NZ band, eh?
Big old NZ, yeah. Yeah,
Rock and
they're
roll. Check 'em
very,
out.
very cool. Yeah, if you haven't heard of them, they're
Also
kind of
check
a
out
big deal.
Skelter.
Oh, we're all right. Still working on it.
They're coming.
Yeah, so I mean, we're just, at the moment, we're writing a lot of new stuff. So we've just done like a 50-song challenge,
Ooh,
which was pretty
yeah.
intense.
Bro,
Yeah.
let's get into that. We're just going to halt right there.
Of course, yeah.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
So, 50 songs in 50 days. Wow.
Yeah, it was
What a
intense.
crazy concept.
Yeah, every day, man. It just became a routine, you know.
Can you run me through, like, okay, first week, thoughts and feelings, progress? What was the
First
state?
week, I think, was like, yeah, probably a mixture of really cool experiences writing songs and other experiences which were a bit tougher because me personally, I felt like we were trying things we hadn't done before.
Yeah.
You know, trying to get into the room sort of just out of necessity, really, you know, because we knew we had a challenge to do. And even if we didn't want to do it, we still just had to do it, right? It's like going to work every day.
Yeah.
Some days you want to do it, some days you don't. And
Yeah.
this was like a job, man. So it was like, yeah, trying to balance your emotions towards the situation. Yeah, we knew we just had a job to do and just had to focus. But obviously we've all got different views on what good music is, or at least we try and come up with some sort of compromise as we're writing, so we don't just force, like ideas or...
You also would have had some different views about how to attack the project.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah.
So
yeah.
what was your overall approach? Did you just have like a sit-down meeting and be like, okay, this is what we're going to do?
It basically just started us getting into the room, plugging in, just sort of working with the jam. It could, in some cases, it was almost something that one of us had already kind of done in their own time, and then they'd just bring it into the room, and we would sort of evolve it and change it based on what we were thinking, and
make it into one.
Yeah, try and evolve
piece.
it into something that was another song. And some nights were like very, like it almost just sort of wrote itself, like we'd just like have it there ready to go, without us really trying. And it was pretty much like, it didn't determine whether it was a good or a bad song. It was just the fact that we had another song that was so rewarding, we can just bust it out and it was done. Other songs we were probably more particular about, not because we weren't treating the song any differently. It was just we were more, concerned that, I suppose for me it was like I had to change my approach a lot throughout the challenge, because as a drummer, I suppose, you want to have control. You want to be able to know exactly where the song is going. And how
you can't have to, because you're like
knowing the feel
coordinator.
and how the song moves you, man, is very important. Like you have to, I guess, get inside what the song kind of needs. Serve the song, as they say, rather than just serving what you want to do as a musician. And it wasn't that like I was trying to really hear out everyone that was involved and experience it from a different viewpoint, but it was almost just a challenge, to sort of change that angle.
Okay.
They talk a lot about like, from when you're a kid, you develop schemas, right, which are kind of inbuilt sort of patterns of behavior in which you treat situations in your life almost the same every time based on those patterns. And they're things that you sort of, I think you're kind of taught those, without realizing throughout your life, just through experiences and ways in which you deal with things kind of dictate how you deal with things later on. And if anything was going to test that, for me, it was this. It was like really trading how I'd usually deal with things for the benefit of the song or for the benefit of the group, rather than me just sort of being completely oblivious to what everyone else wanted. And just sort of sticking to my guns and like being quite obtrusive and aggressive, I suppose, about what I wanted, I always ended up feeling, I always ended up feeling more guilty if it was the latter, rather than being a bit more sort of indifferent, I suppose, and just letting things take their natural course, it was an interesting mind game, man. And it wasn't like anyone's sort of doing, we're all in the same boat. We're all feeling it in different ways and treating it in different ways too,
Was it quite draining, like creatively speaking.
Yeah, it was. It
Yeah.
definitely was. And it wasn't that we weren't writing good music. It was just the act of writing was becoming more and more of a chore,
Yeah.
throughout the challenge, knowing that we just had to meet that target. 50 songs is no easy feat, man, especially
No way.
writing as a band as well. Because I don't know, like I've never written that many songs on my own, let alone in a group.
Yeah.
And I imagine like the process would be different if you were a solo artist where you could just plug in and you could have this streak of inspiration and you just write all this stuff, in one go.
You're more versatile as well for your time. Because that must have been a big issue as well, like time
definitely
constraints.
with work and everything.
Yeah,
Everyone
like
had
balancing your life. and whatnot.
different
So what did you
schedules.
just go for?
Essentially, just
How did you try balance
any time we could get.
any free time?
It was
any time when everyone was free.
Pretty much,
So-
poor Rob, who works at Apple at High Point, so he works night shifts, or technically night shifts on weekends, or Fridays and Thursdays, Fridays are sort of like his late shifts where he finishes about 9 o'clock, right? And we'd have a window of about an hour to sort of play or write as much as you could before 10 o'clock, which is sort of like our cut-off point, just not to make any more noise, basically. But yeah, having to squeeze in another song or another idea, straight after he'd finished work, I imagine would have been really tricky,
Yeah.
It would have been for anyone, really. And even like for myself, like coming home from work after 8 hours, just not really wanting to do anything but unwind and just chill, before the next day. But then you're sort of going from one job to another and realizing that job that you're coming home to is almost just as important, if not more so.
Probably more.
Well, exactly, because
that's where
that's
you want to go, right?
kind of the goal that, we've all been
That's why you're
centered
here.
on, Exactly.
So how many people in your band?
There's 4 people. So
Four
there's
people.
me on drums, there's Zeke on guitar, lead guitar, Eddie as a singer, and then Rob, our bass man. So it's just...
I'm sure that all these
of a
people
rock
get to meet them
quartet.
all at some point. I'm looking to get them on at some point as well. But
They're floating around.
50 songs, 50 days. Recommend?
Oh yeah, if you want to expand your music and like just fucking work hard at it, you know, definitely recommend it, man, because you'll get so much more music for it. More music than you can ever imagine, and even if it's just a draft, it's still something that you could.
Something's better than nothing.
Yeah, you just tap into it, play with it. Once you've got those songs, there's not really any rush in terms of like, if you want to evolve a song more so and like develop ideas around it, maybe write a new chorus or a new whatever, you can take your time with it, because that's all about kind of refining your end product,
Yeah, perfecting it.
Yeah, exactly. What you release to the world. I guess for a lot of people, standards kind of vary, in terms of like what people want to produce. They might just want to throw something
And listeners, standards vary as well.
Totally. It's all about, genres.
Some people like the raw, authentic
Exactly.
sounds, like rough. Some people like that very crisp, highly produced sound,
Definitely, yeah.
and everything in between.
Yeah, knowing your audience is pretty paramount. I think,
it is.
knowing who you are and who you're playing to. Is kind
So
of all
any
about it.
tips or tricks for doing that 50 songs, 50 days?
Just work hard.
Just grind it?
Yeah, just fucking grind it, because it's not going to be easy. Nothing you do is going to, alleviate your inner stresses or anxieties. Like you might as well just, put pen to paper and, you'll learn a lot from doing it,
Yeah.
It's kind of just a really big mental challenge, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad challenge. It's an important one, because it teaches you to just really work out what it is you bring to the table, especially in a group setting.
Yeah.
And you know how to deal with things a lot better, I think, afterwards. And it's nothing but a good thing.
Would you recommend, if you're going to do this challenge as a band, would you recommend living together?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, fuck, it'd be even harder, I reckon, if we didn't live together, because
I reckon it would
we
be
wouldn't
too.
be at each other's disposal.
There's more time to waste if you didn't live together.
Exactly, yeah. No, I imagine it'd be a lot harder, and it'd be, more of a stress, because there's just other things to consider, isn't there? Other logistics that you got to play into account, and it just kind of intensifies it, I suppose. So, it was the best situation we could be in for it. We were all under the same roof. We could come home at similar times and sort of at least keep in touch and like knock on each other's doors, see, where everyone's
Easy
at.
communication.
Yeah, very easy, man. That was the whole
And no one
idea.
can cheat. Like, you can't, like, pretend, I've got
Exactly,
this thing
yeah.
on. It's like,
That's
you're,
right.
you're in your room, bro.
That's right. Everyone's accountable. So that made it like, gave us all a lot more responsibility, which was a good thing. We all knew we had the same task to complete. And it just helped us till the end, really.
Cool. So get amongst it, you musicians out there. It sounds like a pretty good idea to me. Like, I'd be pretty keen to try it, but
easier than done. No, it's fucking hard.
I don't know, man. Maybe it'd be cooler to start. Maybe I could try to do like a 10, 20-day thing.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, you could always just start
like
off
I
smaller.
say, like the process as a solo artist would be almost completely different.
It would be.
Imagine.
It would be for sure.
It'd be a lot more. I don't know. Like there'd be different things that would make it intense, and other things that would make it a lot better.
Yeah,
perhaps.
right.
I don't know.
Anyway,
pros and cons to anything.
Moving forward from there, so you were living with your band while you're doing this, and you've lived with your band ever since you've been in Melbourne.
Ever since
when did you guys move here?
We moved here start of the year, so we came
like Feb.
Yeah, around January. It was mid, like what was it, 16th of January.
Oh yeah,
when we
all moved over.
We got on the plane in Christchurch, came over
and
here.
What made you move here?
Basically to work with Tom.
Oh, to work with Tom.
And to do sort of like a series of things along the way.
Yeah.
Essentially, we just kind of knuckled down ever since we got here, trying to like,
Rest.
I don't know, work out how the fuck we were going to do this.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
You know, just dropping everything back home and moving here was like such a risk and such a, man, it just kind of like tested everyone, I think. And it still is
shit.
really.
It's no joke moving places.
Yeah. We're a fish out of water essentially. Like, and we're still working on like
small pond to a big pond.
That's it, man. Yeah, you really realize the differences, I think. In many ways, there's more similarities, I think, than differences. But at the same time, like it's a new system to sort of, get used to and knowing what your bills are as well. Different things you got to pay for and permits and licenses. All of that, man, it adds up at the start.
What was some of the transitional things that you found to be like that you weren't prepared for?
It's a tough question. I think in my head, I probably observe more than I need to. Like when you're a tourist, I suppose, think of it like this: like if you're on holiday and you go somewhere in the world that you've never been to before, you're naturally going to be very, very active in terms of like seeing what
very
is around
attentive.
you. Very attentive, exactly.
Yeah.
That can be quite exhausting, I think, after a while, especially when you're not just visiting there, you're living there as well.
Yep.
And I was just sort of paying attention to everything. Like I was so observant of all the little nuances and accents and
taking in the culture,
things like the brands. I don't know. Like you just you take everything in and you become just a normal civilian in a normal world essentially. To everyone else around you, it's just their norm. But to you, you're like, what the hell is going on?
I think that's natural, man. Like you're just trying to. You're like you're trying to reassess your setting. It's like a cat, They kind of know their boundary, and then if they step outside their boundary of what they know, then they're all of a sudden on high alert, prey mode, and they will only ever step so far out of their boundary before coming back. So they try to extend their boundary slowly, and then they do extend their boundary extremely wide eventually. But that's what they're like paying attention to every little thing. They're like, okay, is this place safe? Is this place safe? I think it's like kind of embedded in our,
kind of like an animalistic
sort
of
instinctual. Like you got to make sure you're safe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like coming here was sort of like it was an attempt to sort of find safer ground, I suppose, for our own musical benefits. I suppose we knew that coming here would be a good idea as far as like exploring, a new creative environment and being able to access things that we couldn't access back home. Yeah. So we knew there was a benefit to it. But just a lot to deal with all at once. Like everything's just kind of coming at you. And it's not that anything is really, it's purely emotional, I think. It's just like I was saying to you before about the challenge. If your emotions are kind of getting in the way of what's really there, it kind of just intensifies it more than it should. And essentially you just sort of have to learn how to balance what you feel versus what you see. You know what I mean? Like what I'm seeing is pretty much just normal to the sheer majority of people, but for me it's like an individual process that I'm trying to learn how to work with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, Buzzy, it's an interesting frame of thought you're going through there. Like it sounds like you're extremely observant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I always,
and like you say, that is exhausting. Yeah, but I think it's pretty natural as well. But the longer you spend in a place, the less attention you have to pay to those little nuances.
Exactly. Things just become normal. You become conditioned to the things that you start off being very surprised by. And
was this the first time you lived with the band then?
It was, yeah.
And what's that like? What's it like living with your band?
It's awesome, man. Like it's actually, it's the
Did you have any worries going into it?
It was more just like, just not knowing. what to expect.
Yeah,
You know?
okay.
Like for me, my biggest insecurity is just not having control of, or not knowing how to handle not having control. If that makes sense. So I knew that it was going to be a challenge, living under a roof with, my three best friends basically, because it doesn't matter how good you are friends with someone, you often have challenges, if you're sharing facilities and whatever. It's all just any renter would agree, I'm sure.
Well, you should have problems, I think. That's how you better each other as well.
It's all
challenge
normal.
each other to be better, and you've got to like compromise because everyone's not the same.
Yeah,
and
all just hardy things to get good at doing, as far as life is concerned. These are things that we sort of need to know about. Otherwise, we'd just be sheltered from the world,
But this far, like, all pretty compatible living together, like no major dramas.
Yeah. No, we're good, man. We're good. Naturally, like you say, you come across blips in the road, just small challenges that you sort of get over, and then it's all about just moving forward, basically. If we ever decided to just stop doing what we're doing, then we could just do that, and we could all walk away, go home if we wanted to.
Yeah.
And there's nothing preventing us from doing that. Like, we all kind of have a say in the matter. We all respect each other's opinion as well. Like, we don't try and bash anyone for what they feel or what they are. It's all about kind of keeping everyone unanimous and excited about what it is we're doing here.
Yeah, for sure. I feel you.
Yeah.
So living with your band, I've never really thought
I feel
about
like
it.
you want to go into more depth.
I really want to, eh? It's buzzy.
Who farts
Because-
the most? Who eats with their mouth open? Yeah.
Greg up.
Yeah.
No, I was meaning also, like, you consider these guys your best friends?
Yeah,
Glenn?
man. Yeah.
Well, also that. How crucial do you think that is to be in a band with best friends, Because I'm sure there's a lot of bands out there that aren't necessarily best friends,
Yeah.
They're just, not that they're not friends, but
It's a hard
they might
game
not get on that well.
because, I mean, you're essentially going into business with these guys as well, right? Many big bands, somewhere along the way, have to negotiate with their bandmates in order to decide, what the terms of agreement are, and who gets the royalties, who gets this and that. There's so many hard conversations that you just have to have, and that will clearly make things difficult. But if you want to consider your band to being a career, then it's like you're an entrepreneur. You're not just a musician. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're having to shape it in a different way to just being a hobby. You're no longer in your garage, doing it for fun. It's about knowing what your terms
business,
are.
baby.
Yeah, it is. It's just fucking business. That's it. We've never been in a good enough position to know that what we're doing is like a guaranteed revenue maker, or like we're not sure yet if what we've got is gonna gonna last us, but we're
That's what you want to do as well.
It is, yeah, and we're still at that level where like it's very rootsy and very homely to jam with the guys. Those are the three best dudes I could ever jam with.
Yeah.
Really, always have been, and it's been cool to know that we've all come together and worked out what our differences are. Up until now, at least, we're very much aware of what everyone brings to the table and how everyone deals with things as well, which is important, not just like sugarcoating things with what you want to see and what you want to hear. You sort of accept the realism of it as well, and not be too dazed by everything that's happening around you, being very focused on what the subject at hand is, if that makes sense. Head over heart, basically.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
It's real cool. So would you say, might be hard, but let's give it a go. Yeah. Do you think to be a successful band, it would be essential to have a bond on maybe not best friend level, but like you have to all get on?
I think so, man.
Well, what would be the lowest level, do you think, that you would have to get on at? That's kind of hard to measure, isn't it? But
yeah, you always hear about
you hear what I'm trying to say?
almost like case studies in rock and roll, right? You think of bands like Fleetwood Mac, whose album Rumours was essentially written about all of the love affairs and all of the drama and angst that existed in that band at the time. Yet they use that album as an outlet to fuel their career, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's odd exceptions to the rule, I suppose, where generally the torture and everything that an artist goes through in a normal way, like just like anyone else, they can use that as a point of difference and something that connects people in a very natural way, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hard to explain, but I just know that like every band that I've really enjoyed throughout my life has had some sort of history, some sort of like angle in which they went through a really dark period of, you know, one of the members died of an overdose, or they had some sort of breakup, they had some sort of issue or drama that really defined their career, I suppose, but yet they still kind of carried on knowing that that band or that project that they had was going to last them longer than themselves, essentially. You know, think of Metallica, think of like Cliff Burton dying in that terrible bus crash, and the fact that they just got another bass player and carried on, or even AC/DC. Or
when did who was it? Sorry, Cliff.
Oh, the bass. Yeah, so Cliff Burton was the original bass player for Metallica.
Okay. Hey Google. When did Cliff Burton from Metallica die?
According to Wikipedia, on April 4, 2009, Burton was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with fellow Metallica bandmates James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, and Kirk Hammett.
That's not when he died, Google. Oh.
When did Cliff Burton?
Hey Google. When did Cliff Burton die?
Here's some information from the web that might possibly help. According to Wikipedia, Cliff Richard. This is the latest accepted revision, reviewed on the 11th of October 2018. By the way, he's turning 78 today.
Oh, great. Good on you.
Silence. Thank you, Google.
I think it's interesting.
Good.
A lot of people kind of glamorize rock culture, especially the stuff that is the nitty gritty. You know, it's the tragedies and all the things that, I don't know, people wouldn't generally want to experience themselves, but when they see a rock star kind of going through these changes and then hearing the outlet that they have, I mean, like, would you say, like, you know, someone like Kurt Cobain was like, he was such a tortured soul, but he's almost been, I don't know, glamorized because of that torturous spirit.
Yeah, it's kind of made him. It made him what he is. Like, if he wasn't a tortured soul, then would have there been a musical genius?
Yeah, would it have been as potent and as aggressive, or, you know, would it have been as genuine, I suppose? Like, who's to say, you know, can you imagine a guy like that as a fluffy pop star, or
totally,
you know, everything that he hated? Like,
that was part of his brand, part of his niche.
Yeah. I suppose, bands like AC/DC when they lost Bon Scott. Yeah.
That's crazy how they found a replacement.
Within a month or something, and did Back in Black, their biggest fucking record, you know?
And he's a boss.
Yeah. Fucking, it just happens, you know? Like, when you realize the potential of what you've got, and you've got a business that you're trying to run. I mean, I don't know how they did it, but it fascinates me to know that they didn't just give up because of it, you know, despite how tragic that was. They realized they just had to keep the show going, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's crazy. Head over heart, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, on this note, I think we'll have a quick break, eh?
Yeah.
You got a song that we could play for the break?
Oh, song.
Putting you on the spot. I know you love it. Come on, first one to the head.
First one to the head. I'm going to say I'm in Chains by, you know, I can't even think of a name, but we'll ask Google and they'll play it, right?
Okay. Hey, Google. Who plays I'm in Chains?
Sorry, I'm not sure how to help with that.
Man, you are not on today, Google.
Let's play Fleetwood Mac's.
I don't understand.
Fleetwood Mac's Rhiannon.
Boom. We're going to play that one.
Let's do it. See you soon.
Yep, we'll be back. Fuck you, Google.
Fuck Google, man. He's useless.
Hey, he's not. Check. Check 1, 2.
1. G'day.
Yeah, right.
I feel fat.
Yeah, we just went and got some Maccas. Frozen Cokes for $1 though. You gotta love it, don't you?
Fuck yeah.
What a great song as well. Rhiannon?
Oh yeah. That was a good one.
God, it's good.
Are they still playing?
I think they're still moseying about. I don't know if it's the original lineup though. I don't think it's the original lineup.
Well, mate, Neil Finn, I think he's in the mix now. He's been hired, which is pretty interesting if you ask me.
That is crazy.
I wonder how much, like, I love Crowded House. I love the Finn brothers. I love everything they do. Is he like Lindsay Buckingham though? Because
I don't think so.
Those are hard shoes to fill, man.
Oh yeah.
Very hard.
I don't think so. But we'll see, give him a chance. Anyway, segment to start our fair, part 2. Curious questions. Okay, the curious question this week is, what do you know but can't prove? And I'll let you take the reins on this one.
What do I know and can't prove?
Yeah, but can't prove.
I know that I like who I am, but I can't prove that I actually do like who I am. I don't know what I just said, but I said it.
Yeah.
Let's just ponder that. So,
yeah, let's go through that.
can we prove our confidence is legit?
Only subjectively, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can scan the brain. Maybe you
Because
can
it's confidence objective, because our views of ourselves and of other people, we view other people who are confident, to be successful or to be at least in tune with who they are. But is that an objective viewpoint, or is that just how we view them in a subjective way?
Hard to know.
Very hard to know.
Hard to know.
This is a rabbit hole. I love it.
No, it's a deep one. Can you prove that?
Because to one
like
person,
yourself?
a confident person can seem very just charismatic or...
Yeah, but then the flip side of that is they can seem arrogant.
Exactly.
There's a very fine line between charisma and arrogance.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
How do we prove what we see is what is actually there? When we see things, do we see them objectively or subjectively? Yeah?
Yeah.
That's the never-ending challenge, isn't it? When I look at this painting, you can't see it, but there's a painting of a pier leading out to the lake.
Beautiful sunset.
Beautiful, yeah. It's
Great colours.
It's a cool photo.
Yeah.
But what's underneath that lake? You know what I mean? If you can't see what's actually there on the wall, but it's a lake with a pier, and it's a beautiful hilltop.
And
sort
it's
of
3D,
background.
but it's 2D.
Well, yeah, that's another thing, right? We'll
Crazy.
get into that soon. But you could totally just imagine things that could be there, but you don't know if they're
I
there.
don't know for sure. Yeah.
You can convince yourself based on how you feel
Power of the
about
mind
it.
as well.
Yeah, because your brain is just a big labyrinth in which you just reconnect things so that as you see fit, like you can almost reimagine a whole situation, that happened in the past, or, you could think about it differently and almost
You can
convince
rewire
yourself.
your brain to have different memories. Like you
Exactly.
can make yourself believe something that actually didn't happen.
Yeah.
Which is so
Something that could have
crazy.
just been like just a flash in front of you, just that one person you saw in town, and you reimagine them as being someone who isn't who they are, or just because your brain didn't make that connection quick enough, right? So it reimagines it. I don't know anything about this. This is all very psychologically, very like up and
Love it.
down. Yeah, you could speculate. You can invent things that don't really matter. I mean, at the end of the day, if you can wake up, if you can live a day, and you can be what you want to be,
Yeah.
then where's the harm in believing what you don't want to be? Jesus,
Deep words.
This is getting, you asked this. You asked for this.
I wanted
you posed this question.
That's what I want. That's what we're here for.
I don't know what
We're
I'm
here to
talking
capture
about.
these moments.
Yeah.
I'll try to give you one.
Okay.
What do I know but can't prove? I know that. I don't know.
There's so much, right?
I like your one. I like your one. That's good.
I don't know how I thought of it.
I don't know if I can think of one on the spot.
Right. The thought of objectivity versus subjectivity would be a very interesting conversation. Like take any kind of human interaction out of it and just think purely on what is real and what isn't real. How much is the brain capable of?
And what does real mean?
In terms of like having a almost a biased approach towards defining what is real and not real, you know?
Yeah.
What makes sense to us as humans might not make sense to something else that exists in the same world as us, you know, a bird in a tree or a cat walking around, you know, on its hind legs because it fucking wants to, you know?
Yeah, hard.
And like to us it's like, well, that's weird, but to him he's having fun.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I do. Here's one.
Yeah.
But this is more of like a prophetic thing, I suppose.
Sure.
I think I know that AI is going to fuck us up.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence, that is.
Yeah.
But I can't prove that.
Well, you're probably right. Because
It's not a bad bet. Not a bad
it's
bet.
been recreated in countless films, novels. Before AI was
That's
even
cool.
like a proper thought, right?
It's like we want it to.
Yeah, look at a book like Brave New World. You know, what was his name?
Aldus Huxley.
Aldous Huxley. Yes, he was thinking ahead. You know, a guy like that, he could kind of
Fuck yeah, bro.
imagine what the world would be like with that kind of power around it,
Yeah.
and just being able to depend
Back in
on
the
it.
40s as well?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's insane.
What?
Same with George Orwell in
Yeah.
1984. Like, just people who have that, you know, just that edge to their.
Some people.
They just
Some
think about
people
it.
just, that is good.
But they're the people that are almost crazy.
Yeah,
to
they are.
everyone
You have
else,
to be a
you
little
know?
bit crazy. And you'll have to be considered crazy for your time as well, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. For that time, there was just no utterance of it. you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, you should definitely check those books out. I think I've probably preached them before. 1984 by George Orwell and Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Great books.
Cool. Just, yeah.
Yeah.
Gives you a snapshot as to what it could be like. And then that sparks conversation.
Yeah.
And thought-provoking kind of subjects that, you know, otherwise we wouldn't even consider, right?
Totally.
And again, it comes back to what starts off as just one person's opinion and then kind of evolves into the general consensus, or, you know,
for sure.
suddenly everyone's thinking it. It'd just be interesting. I mean, like, where does it stop? Is there always going to be another achievement? Is there always going to be another advancement in technology or medicine, or, you know?
Yeah. I don't know.
What's really stopping it? What's monitoring, you know?
Is it increasing at the moment? Or is it still going? Is it like going like
Yeah,
this?
I don't know,
Or
man. I don't know. It'd be an interesting question to pose to Google, I reckon. You know, how many new things have been invented this year alone?
yeah. Okay. Hey Google, how many new forms of technology have been invented this year?
On the website study.com, they say, since technology can be so simple or so complex, there are many types of technology. One type is mechanical technology, which
Google.
includes wheels, cams, levers, gears, belts,
You're not
and
on our
engines.
level, mate.
Hey Google. Hey Google. How many inventions have been made in 2018? Maybe.
Sorry, I don't know how to help with that yet.
Wow. Okay. Google,
Hi, what can I do for you?
have they found a cure to cancer yet?
Sorry, I can't help with that yet.
Oh, he's part of the
There's some
patriarchy.
kind of
He knows.
controversy going on there. Yeah, Google have found it, but
You know what, Google? You're really letting me
you're
down
letting them
today.
down. Yeah, we depend on you, mate.
Let's step aside from that curious question. That was good. Okay, back. I want to hear a bit more about some more personal thoughts of Melbourne. So, what's been the most shocking thing about Melbourne?
I guess just bigger place, you know, more people,
Yeah.
more to compete with, more stimulation, you know, visually. You got to be more aware, I think, like, especially driving around, man. Holy shit.
hard.
Going into the city, it's just like,
Yeah.
man, you
don't
really
have a
got to
car, I
be
don't
aware of
know.
what's happening. No, it's just, even if you're walking, man, I think, like, being in a big city, naturally there is just going to be more hazards, more things to, if you're an anxious person, you probably think about that a lot more than someone who isn't anxious, right?
No,
People who have probably lived in their cities all their lives don't think like that at all, I imagine. Like, they'll just be
Probably
aware
not.
of their environment.
They've
in a
already
certain
done it.
way.
They've already done the
Yeah.
scenery analysis.
That's it. Yeah, so they're conditioned to it, I suppose. And for me, it's just been a bit of a shift, trying to become more conditioned to this new world. And
Yeah.
and it's not really that much different. It's only 3 hours from...
So mainly
where I'm
the
from.
most, the hardest transitional phase for you was the environmental changes.
Yeah. I'd say so, man. Coming from a small town.
What are you thinking of the weather?
Oh, it's fucking 4 seasons in one day, man. It's like a crowded house song, man.
It's
out of
fucking
here.
crazy, eh? Man, how cold was the winter?
It was pretty bad.
Like,
Yeah.
really caught me off guard.
It surprised me too, because I thought, wow, Australia, weather,
Must be good.
hand in hand, it's a big desert. Melbourne's not like that at all. It's almost like Christchurch in a way, man.
And then, like, this summer's going to get up to, like, 40s.
Just scorching. Yeah, the first day that we came here, man, it was like 42. We were living out in Geelong in my mum's tent. Like, she had this tent set up in the yard.
Yeah.
And we're all just camped down like a bunch of bloody hippies, just experiencing this hot, humid weather that we just never had back home, man. We never thought we'd experience a 40-degree day, ever. It was just so warped. But now, it's kind of part of what it means to live in Australia. That is what people expect here. And that's cool. I'm excited for that, man. I've always loved summers back home. Like, I can't wait to just fucking
Lounge in
walk
the
around.
sun.
Oh, mate.
Have a cheeky natural blonde.
I got my box of VBs and I got my lounger.
Body.
Oh, all codes of it, mate. And I
We had a
watched
nice
my footy.
barbecue yesterday, didn't we?
We did, yeah. That was lovely.
Great little gathering.
First wee
Few
little kind
friends.
of out. Well, yeah, it's just
All Kiwis, basically.
pretty much.
2 Aussies, Rick.
Yeah, it's funny, yeah. Like,
Yeah, we're
we always. I think that's an interesting thing too. If you're going abroad, how much more common is it to sort of stick to your own and stick to what you came from?
Oh, gravitational pull towards it.
Totally, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. It makes us feel a lot more at home when we're around people that
Yeah.
we can connect with, and I wonder if people would probably relate to that, right? Like, it's
Yeah,
like,
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. I think it's like a certain type of person that comes from New Zealand to Melbourne as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Probably like it's a filtering system in itself.
Totally. Essentially, everyone's come here for the same sort of reasons. Like, we're all come here for opportunity.
Yeah.
Whether it's in music or just in work,
Yeah.
the money's better here. Things are more or less cheaper, I think. Like, the
Yeah.
cost of living is just different.
And probably like a lot of like it takes a lot of balls to do it as well.
Yeah.
Like
You learn a lot from doing it, man.
it's hard. It's
A lot
hard
of-
to
a lot
leave
of
you.
personal growth.
Yeah,
A lot of
it's hard to
stuff
leave
that
your
I don't
bubble.
think you would have experienced back home. Because
Yeah.
I mean, New Zealand for me will always be the most beautiful country in the world. It's still
So beautiful.
for a lot of people, it's always going to be home. It's always going to be somewhere to retire to, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, it's like that's where I want to be when I'm 80 years old. I want to be on a big farm.
Yeah.
In the fucking
Hard.
high country somewhere. Just lapping up that space and tranquility and the humbleness as well. There's a real
we are very
humility.
humble.
Yeah, coming over here, there is a big shift in like what people want to compete for. When the money
There's
and
a lot
the
more
work,
competition.
there's a lot more kind of
Which is good
financial
as well.
freedom here too. Yeah.
What do you think of the people here in general?
I mean, they're just people, man. It's very diverse.
Very diverse.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, people come
Heaps of
here
different scenes.
from all over the world.
Yeah, always.
Everywhere. It's amazing walking through Footscray. There's a lot of culture there,
Yeah.
There's lots of just I wouldn't even know where to begin, to be honest. Like I was saying to you before about going to more gigs. I don't even really have a proper sense as to what is in Melbourne yet, man. I haven't really even explored the
Neither,
eastern
bro.
suburbs. It
don't
almost
think
it feels like a different world over there.
I don't
you
even know a 20th of this place, probably.
Yeah.
Like,
Probably never will.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just a big area.
It's just fucking everywhere's different. There's different scenes everywhere, right? Which is cool. Which is part of the fun.
Yeah, and I think we need to be in a big place to obviously understand our purpose.
Yeah.
Because if anything's going to bring you back down to earth, it's a city full of 4 million people.
Yeah.
It's essentially the same population as our whole country back home.
Yeah.
You realize just how busy the world is, just by going a few hours west or whatever. The world's big, man.
You realize just how many fucking people there are as well.
Exactly, yeah. Technology and the advancement of things that make life easier is almost diminishing just how broad our world is, I suppose. You can email something, to someone across the world and do it in such a easy fashion, right? There's no, I guess you just take for granted how easy things are. And if you stay somewhere for too long, you just become accustomed to all the comforts and trimmings that
bro.
come with, just being comfortable, really.
Well, I'm reading The Road to Big and Pier
Oh, real?
Yeah.
I tried to read that.
Yeah. Yeah, what happened? Gave up?
And I just kind of like, I saw where it was going.
Make sure you're talking into the mic.
I saw where it was going. And I knew what he was doing. He was, because he's not George Orwell, is he? He almost seems like George Orwell.
He does seem like George Orwell. I'm not done yet. But
yeah. It's cool, man. He does, it's very much.
Are you sure he's not George Orwell?
Yeah, I'm positive. Positive.
Hey?
I can't remember his name. But it's more like, it's like a non-fiction book, right? Because he talks about like the poverty levels and stuff at the time, going through Sheffield and seeing
how crazy the miners' life are. Like,
yeah, and the division between rich and poor as well.
Yeah, the class.
And how dependent people were on mining as well. You know, like it's crazy, and people were stealing coal from the trains that would run from the fields and stuff. You
just
know, they'd wait for it to go past.
They could.
Yeah.
Just enough to like light a fire and cook some food.
Yeah, different time, man.
But yeah, it's just like even thinking about the fact that how many generations did we have before us? Was it when World War II happened? Three generations. That's not that long ago, bro.
Not really.
That was probably like one of the most pretty good argument for the most devastating event in the history of the world.
Oh yeah, millions of lives lost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we never repeat that, but I mean, it's still within our capability. In fact, we've got more warfare now than ever. You know, we have the potential to essentially blow up a small country. You know?
Yeah, we've definitely got like the
everything's at our disposal. Basically, we might not be
drones and shit.
Yeah,
people won't even have to go to war if it's a World War III. It'll just be like battle these big fucking crazy technologies.
Yeah, I don't know. Things are just more talked about now. I suppose there's not as much kind of hidden from plain sight. You know what I mean? Like people probably just went with their gut a lot more back then. They'd just lead by their instinct to sort of dominate and, you know, compete with other people's views. Now that everything's kind of celebrated equally, there's not as much kind of like left under the rocks, if that makes sense.
Well, it was a learning curve. Like war before the two major world wars, it wasn't as devastating, and people couldn't go to war for so fucking long.
Yeah.
And we didn't have enough money to last that long. Like wars were reasonably, they weren't as long and as devastating, you know?
I suppose. Yeah.
But now, like people, I think those two wars, well, we should have, hopefully we learned a little bit at least, that wars, like, it's no fucking joke now. Like, heaps and heaps.
Yeah, there'll always be wars, man. That's the thing. I mean, wars were existing after World War II, you know. There was still
definitely
small periods of just extreme violence. And there still are incidences throughout the world, which you just look at like Syria or look at places in the Middle East where it's just so rife. It's as if, you know, war never
ended there. I don't really know
there.
much about those places.
Neither. All you see are headlines, right? You just see snapshots of what is existing there. You don't know unless you're there.
I just wonder if the media's fishing for stories, though, you know?
I don't know, man. That's a whole other thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you believe anymore?
What is going on?
There's so much like fake news. And, you know, Donald Trump, he's made such a protest about it. You know, everyone is essentially susceptible to something that isn't true.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's totally just like...
Which sucks.
It's about reading between the lines and actually knowing what is really there. Again, you know, thinking about subjectivity versus what do you want to believe? You know, versus what is actually there, you know?
Yeah, well, that's what they say when you're trying to do a research assignment. You shouldn't be doing a research assignment to try and prove something. You should be doing a research assignment to try and like disprove your hypothesis. You know, you want your hypothesis.
You don't want to just agree with yourself, right?
You're not trying to prove yourself right.
Yeah.
You do the assignment. You attack your point of view as much as you can.
You're totally on the fence, right?
Yeah. You want your opinion to be wrong, so then you attack it as much so you can find the right information. And then if your opinion stands strong after you throw all your brute force at it, then you know it's worth sharing.
Yeah. But it's such a fine line between like, you know, I'm sure there's been many debates in the science world, or actually particularly in psychology, man, because psychology seems like one of those things where there isn't really substantial enough proof. There's just research, you know, there's studies and there's suggestions almost that this is how certain things work within the brain. But as far as I'm aware, like there doesn't seem to be any kind of definitive kind of, you know, proof in the pudding. You know, this is how we are built, you know, mentally, right? But it's obviously a lot more advanced than it used to be.
Yeah,
it's definitely a lot more talked about.
Well, we can do like brain scans and stuff now, so we're starting to understand the brain a lot more.
Yeah,
like from a like objective point of view, you know.
Definitely, yeah, which is important. Because that's. I mean, I'm
We still
watching.
know fucking nothing about consciousness.
I've just watched Maniac on
Oh,
Netflix.
yeah.
That's great, man.
You liked it?
Loved it. Yeah.
I just can't get over the fact that Jonah Hill is not funny in it. I
He's
watched
awesome, man.
Yeah, I've heard.
Such a good
I
actor.
suppose I need to watch it.
Yeah, do it, man. It deals with all of that. Like these guys are in a drug trial, and they're all essentially like kind of either clinically depressed or they've got some sort of mental, unwellness.
Yeah.
Like they all need help, and this drug trial is meant to implement some sort of some energy or something. They go through 3 different stages of it. And they have to tackle their inner demons and stuff, all through a mental game, basically. And I don't know. It's a real clever show, really, really well done.
10 eps, yeah?
What's that?
Is it 10 episodes?
Yes, yeah, 10
And
episodes, like an
what are
extended
they?
movie.
50 minutes?
Yeah,
50 to an hour?
more or
type
less.
thing?
Yeah. But yeah, it's just
Crazy how we're just making extended movies now.
Yeah.
It's like a big thing now. People just will do these one-off seasons. And
totally, they're just as well done, right?
look at that.
Probably
13
has the
Reasons
same
Why
amount of
shit.
production and the same amount of influence, like because it's all a different market, I suppose. You don't need to go to the theaters anymore.
No, you don't.
The
'cause
theater
no one
comes
does.
to you. It's like it's on your computer.
Yeah, it's so easy.
Yeah. Again, just
Technology.
we want things to be easy,
Crazy old.
but we also want to be able to appreciate things for what they are without taking them for granted. When you watch a good show like Maniac,
Take anything for granted.
I mean, you think about how much work probably went into that, right? In fact, there was a reinvention, I think, of a Swiss show that had the same concept or something. I don't know. Yeah,
Hashtag stolen.
yeah, hashtag stolen.
My God.
Hope they paid for it. Oh my
my
god!
God.
Like what the hell? But
Okay. I want to do it now.
drum roll. Are we finishing?
Nope.
Oh.
I want to do your drums.
Drums.
I want to talk about drums, man.
Fuck yes. I love
'Cause
drums.
That's your little baby.
I don't talk about drums enough.
Okay. We're doing it right
Yeah,
now. Let's
good.
get in.
All right.
Why?
I need to show you something that I learned. I like to hit things because drummers all agree on the same thing. If you can't hit things, then what's the fucking point? You know
Is it
what I
a
mean?
source of an outlet for aggression? Drums?
Can be. I'll admit that. Yeah, it can be nice just as a therapeutic use of energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's very active as well. Like I feel like you get a good workout if you're playing a gig or
Yeah.
even just practicing a set. Yeah, you can throw a lot of energy into it, man. It's fun. It's very, very
You always look like you're having a fucking ball on stage, man.
I love it, man. Yeah, it's about as like I don't know. It's hard to explain because I play a bit of guitar,
Yeah.
a bit of piano, but with drums, they're just shells, right? You can't really get any tone out of them until
Yeah.
you hit them with the stick or even with your hand. But you got to do it in such a way that it's expressive.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think every instrument has the ability to be expressive. Guitar's no exception. Anything there has strings or keys, whatever. It's all expressive stuff. With drums though, it's like you can just be a really hard fucking hitter and it's still expressing something that people can get.
Yeah.
Like when a drummer's good or not, but when a drummer is also entertaining and a drummer who's a bit more kind of placid and not really
Holding
breaking
back
out.
type
Yeah,
thing?
like kind of stuck in their shell.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
pay more effort to the singer or the guitarist. Generally, like they're at the front of the stage, but a drummer who's animated and very very high energy and just throwing everything at it.
Yeah.
It's like you can't forget that, man.
It depends on what you're catering to. Like you're saying, like the drummer, you got to play to the song. Right?
You do,
Right?
absolutely.
If the song's not calling for high energy, then don't play high energy.
Exactly, yeah.
But what got you into drums? When did you start?
I started
Why?
in high school, man. So I was a late bloomer. I came into year 10
Yeah.
in high school, and I wanted to play something. I initially thought that saxophone was going to be my calling, but the teacher never actually followed through with my first lesson, so I just kind of gave up at the end.
Bastard. You missed
Drums
your calling.
came about just because we had an orientation day, and yeah, it was on the chessboard at school, and like everyone had their own station. I went up to my music teacher, Mr. Dietrichs, and
Shout out.
yeah, shout out, Mr. D, he's out there, and yeah, just put my name down, and that was it. And then I just remember every lunchtime from there on in, I was like,
Hitting those sticks.
Yeah, because I was
down on the
anticipating every lesson I was going to have, for that first half of the year.
Yeah.
I was excited. It was like I had a new outlet. I had a new voice or something. It was weird.
Did it feel natural?
It did. Yeah.
Did you pick it up quite quick? Like
I've always been a pretty eclectic kind of kid. Like throughout my childhood, I was very much. I don't know. I wasn't someone you could kind of like keep wrapped in chains or cotton wool, whatever. Like I was always trying to adventure and trying to find things. To try, and I think music just kind of like. It was like the lasso around me sort of thing. That sounds super cheesy, doesn't it?
I like it.
You like that?
Yeah, lasso's great.
So hard to explain, but I just knew that as soon as I picked up those sticks, I was at home.
Yeah.
I was like, this feels good. It feels expressive. Like if I have something to say, I can just go to my drums and just play.
Talk to the drums.
A cool groove and, something that is easy to interpret.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to communicate when you're a drummer.
What's your favorite part about the drums? In that the expressive element of it,
making people move.
Yeah,
I used to play a lot of covers gigs back home.
Yeah,
and playing music that everybody knows that you hear on the music, even if you don't like it personally, it's just fun to see people move to it. You just have two sticks and you're just playing this groove. Right? It could be real easy and simple, and then you just see the whole floor just kind of like. Move, just kind of like a wave.
Yeah.
Playing and just seeing people you don't even know, random punters, just having a drink, suddenly just come to life, as soon as you rip into a song they know, and they all just come to the floor and start moving. And everyone's unanimous on that. Everyone just connects to that. That's a big draw card for me, is like knowing that you have that power to entertain people they don't even know, connect with them in some sort of like universal way. Because that's the power of music, man. Yeah.
Crazy. Well, in particular the drums, because like drums is that rhythm. It's the rhythm that makes people move.
Yeah, it's inexcusable, man. Like you can't like reimagine a good groove. A song that makes you move is just a good groovy song. Right. You can't argue it. It's like this is a good song.
Foot tapper.
Yeah, exactly. You feel like compelled to do it, like instinctively.
But you're a really fucking good drummer, man. Like
thanks, man.
Definitely one of the best drummers I've ever seen, if not the best.
Oh.
But like, good stuff. How often how often do you practice?
I practice very little now. I used to practice a lot. When I was in jazz school, I was sorry, I need to talk to this mic a bit more.
Yeah, just remember that's where the sound comes from.
In jazz school, man, it was intense. Like playing rock music up until then was sort of like my.
Stable.
That was my staple. That's what I identified with the most. I was like, I love loud, heavy music, like technical music as well. Stuff that is impressive to listen
Seems
to
to
and
be
watch.
common among teenagers.
It is, yeah. It's like this is who I want to. This is what impresses my friends. This is what impresses people the most. If I can play like this, Then in jazz school, it was about like knowing what jazz was kind of encompassing. You don't need to be a really technical, proficient, flashy drummer. You just got to hold the groove, hold that pocket, and let everybody else just sort of sit on top. You're not soloing, you're just supporting.
I love the term in the pocket. It just feels so perfect terminology.
Yeah.
I don't even understand why.
It's
why
nice.
Why is the terminology
just
nice?
Keep it in the pocket. Yeah.
Keep it in the pocket.
Leave
it
it for
works.
later. Yeah. You just save all that. It's like bubbling,
in,
man. It's like a gentle kind of simmering. I don't know if you've heard. We went to that jazz club that time, right?
Yeah.
We went and checked out some.
What was that place
called?
Was it called the Jazz?
The Jazz Jazz Lab.
Jazz Lab. That's the one in Brunswick.
In Brunswick.
Yeah,
that was cool.
It's a cool place.
Yeah, that was.
Been there a few times now.
Yeah,
I like it. It's cool.
I mean, it was just it was a discipline that I hadn't really had before.
Yeah.
Learning how to play a bit more tastefully and a bit more kind of low key.
Yeah.
Playing to the environment as well. If you're a loud rock drummer playing in a tiny little room, take like the Cavern Club, or if you're a ringer but you were like into death metal, right?
Yeah.
It would tell everyone to fuck off, wouldn't it? Like you wouldn't meet what was needed for that environment. But anyway, like I was just learning a lot through doing that basically, and not just practicing my chops and my skills, but also my ear, like being able to hear things or anticipate things a lot better. I learnt to sort of read music a bit better as well, which I felt helped with like transcribing music. Just little things, man.
Yeah.
It's all music stuff, really, and
Yeah.
you get to understand music a lot better
Yeah.
if you're
It is
internalizing
developing
it.
understanding,
Yeah,
isn't it? It
And
changes the way
yeah,
you look at it and the way you feel it.
definitely.
But do you think that it was like a dormant dragon lying and you just waiting to be
It always has
awoken?
been, man. It still is.
So do you think everyone can learn the drums, or do you think, okay, maybe not that? Do you think everyone has the skills to be an awesome drummer?
Yeah. Honestly, I think everyone's capable of rhythm.
Right.
If you can tap your foot to something, if you know where the 1 and 3 is, then you're on your way at least.
Yeah.
You know, if you can clap your hands in time. It's just about training your mind or training your coordination more or less. Because if you're sitting at a kit and you've got bass drum there, snare drum
Dancing
here,
in a sort,
hi-hat,
isn't it?
what it is, it's kind of coordinating your limbs to do different things
Yeah.
at the same time. And yeah, practicing that is an art in itself,
Yeah.
not just playing the groove that you're trying to play. All of that kind of comes like through time, I think. Like you can start off by just playing what's on the sheet, playing like a groove that has different voices and, just learning them all together. But to actually make it move or to create like a sense of momentum, that people are going to feel naturally kind of pulled to dance to, that only comes, I think, once you've actually played to people and once you understand what people want. And I'm still exploring that, man. Like when I play a covers gig, I'll generally try and play the most simple groove I can because I know that's what people will respond to the best, right? Especially if it is just a straight ahead dance song, say it's like Creedence Clearwater Revival, Proud Mary or, Bad Man Rising, just songs that everyone kind of knows. But if I was doing all this flashy shit, right, what point is the song? If I'm just there kind of distracting
like you're showcasing
everyone.
yourself.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. In a song like that, it's about serving the song. Again, just playing something that is easy to interpret, something that
Serve
people
the song,
will just,
baby.
Yeah.
Preach it.
Not everyone's going to have that same mind as you, so you might as well learn to kind of understand what people want and knowing your audience, knowing what people expect from you as a musician. Yeah, and as a drummer, obviously.
Now, do you like jamming drums or do you like, well, which one do you like better? I know you like both. Jamming the drums, like in a closed setting, random bullshit, or do you would you prefer to play live? I know there's a time and place for each, but if you had to
if I was in a room, if I was jamming on my own, I could just do whatever I want, and that's always going to be fun. Just showing off and exhibiting your chops. Live, it's very much like you've got to focus on what the set wants, or if you've got a set, you got to play the changes. Basically, you haven't really got any time to explore other ideas or fills or
that's what practice is for.
Exactly, so you do the practice and then the performance is the refined kind of end product of what you've practiced, so I definitely prefer being in a room
just jamming.
Just jamming. I don't get that opportunity a lot, not that I can't just go on my drums and play. I could totally do that, but you got to be courteous, obviously. Drumming is like one of those necessary evils, I suppose, as far as practicing them, because you're obviously going to be very vocal when you're a drummer, and you don't want to catch someone on a bad day, and if someone's got a headache in the next room and you're just chopping away at it, whereas if you're a guitarist, you just plug in, you're all good, right? Or if I got an electric kit, that'd be better, right? So if I got that,
it's not so loud, is it?
Exactly, if I got an electric kit, man, I'd practice all the time, probably.
Favorite cover song to drum to?
Everlong.
Everlong. Staple.
Yeah, I used to sing that.
It's a great song.
And drum it as well. I don't know how I did it.
Shout out to Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters.
Yeah. He's a hell of a dude. He was a big influence for me.
Yeah. The Nirvana.
Not from the get-go. I was just into drummers that were very technical and proficient. I didn't realize Dave Grohl was the Nirvana drummer, for a long, long time. I always knew him as the frontman for the Foos, right?
Yeah.
And then I realized he was such a kick-ass drummer, and I was like, fuck, man.
He's a fucking
this guy
kick-ass
does
drummer,
it all.
Holy shit.
He writes amazing songs. He's a great frontman and vocalist, and then he's also a kick-ass drummer, or started off being a kick-ass drummer. It was almost like he just kind of knew the rhythm from the get-go. He knew everything that it took to be that kind of musician. And
it's talent right there.
Yeah.
Pure talent.
Yeah. It's very cool.
What's your favorite drum? If you had to pick.
Like just singular drum?
Yeah, singular drum.
I mean, what would a drum be without a snare, right? A snare drum. That's your thing.
That's your thing. That's what you're choosing.
The snare.
I'll pick the kick.
Without a snare, there's no, there's no hand clap. There's like if it was a tom, it would just be like a low end kind of thump.
Yeah.
That would almost just sound.
I feel
like you're stomping the floor, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Every drum has a different voice. I think the snare's kind of the quintessential. Like
you think so?
You need a snare.
Well, I feel like it would be either the snare, the hi hat, or the kick.
Yeah, the kick and the snare. That's probably your two main voices.
Yeah.
Everything else kind of flows around that. You can add little nuances on the hi hat or the cymbals or even the toms. The toms work really well too. I've learned that recently actually in recording drums. Toms have a lot of attack to them in verses. So like you can build a song quite well just by placing your beat on the toms essentially, like toms and snare or
So the toms are the snare is the one that's got that clap sound, right? And then the toms like come around. Tom 1, tom 2, full tom.
So your snare's here, hi hat. If you're a right-handed drummer,
hi hat's that one.
Yeah, and then you got toms around, cymbals.
Yeah.
But what I learned is like choruses seem to have, they have spaces in which you can let cymbals really cut through. Cymbals are like blinkers, right? So like you can imagine a show, and the lights come on every time you hit a cymbal. It's sort of more of a deliberate approach to playing drums, right? Not just playing everything that's in sight, like playing things a bit more tactfully. I suppose. Yeah, like it's important to know that as a recording drummer, not just as a live one, because you need to know how to balance different sounds, on the drums. Like I say, it's a very much a hands-on, expressive instrument, so you really need to know the power of all the things that you're hitting, essentially, If you've got this big fuck-off cymbal, like a crash cymbal, and you just want to smash it every time you see it,
Kids love that.
Oh, I know.
Because it's the loudest one.
So do I, man. Yeah. I love just like laying into it, chopping wood. But it might not be the right thing to do at that time. It might just bleed through every other mic in the room. Yeah. Got to be tasteful, man. Yeah. So you only learn that through time and through just playing and experiencing it.
Practice.
Yeah.
Practice doesn't make perfect, but it makes
practicing
better.
with people as well. Yeah,
hard.
Yeah.
Practicing with other people.
Because people are
and practicing with other drummers and communicating with them as well, with any other instrument.
Yeah, exactly. You can learn a lot just by being with people who don't play drums.
Yeah, totally.
Or like
have some clapping sessions.
Yeah. Totally. Just anything that's rhythmic.
Yeah.
I'm definitely into it, Yeah.
I feel like most people have some element of rhythm in their life. I
think so, man.
Like, without them even
If you
knowing.
like music, if you like what comes on the radio, and you can feel that pulse if you're bopping along to it on the way to work.
Even if you just got that head nod going. Or that finger tap.
It's instinctive,
You're
right?
You're in it.
Yeah, goes way back, to when our ancestors were around bloody beating drums in a tribe circle, That's where it comes from, man.
Okay, tips and tricks if someone wants to learn the drums.
Just fucking beat them.
Just beat them hard.
Yeah. Get angry about something and just play whatever you want.
Yeah. It's starting off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get in there and play. Find something to hit, something that's not going to break on first hit, and just have a ball. Because drums are just fun.
Yeah.
They're fucking fun.
Cool. Nice one. Hey, I'm just going to quickly grab my laptop because I got a test for you.
Okay.
But you should do a little bit of promo for Skelter.
What, right now?
Yep, by yourself. Hey, have you guys heard of...
All right. My band, we're called Skelter. And, man, what does it sound like I've got a cold? We're cool, and we're a band. So we've got gigs coming up. I don't know when our gigs are exactly, but you know what?
Got one on the 2nd.
We do have one on the 2nd with Baker's Eddy. That will be really, really cool. That'll be awesome.
Fizzing for that.
Because they're from Wellington. They're another expat who are here doing really cool things, and it'd be cool to...
You can check them out on your local Facebook. I'll do it for you.
On your little
on your local Facebook. I'll add a link in the description. Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
How many singles do you guys got?
We've got kind of like an EP.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah. Just the one EP.
Yeah.
And something's
it's a little bit
new
old.
shit's on the way, right? Like this 50-day riding challenge.
Yeah.
We're expecting big things now.
Oh yeah. There'll be a few nuggets in there, man.
Yeah, so follow them on their Instagram. Yeah?
Yep, we're on Instagram.
Yeah.
Skelter Music, I think we're called.
And you can go check out their music videos as well on YouTube. Really cool music videos. And yeah.
Yeah, we're just another band, really. But we like what we do. And
Don't be so humble, Mr. New Zealand.
It's, yeah.
I know, it's hard though. It is always awkward
The
doing
competitive edge to it, man, that kind of brings you back to earth most of the time.
hard.
You know, you realize everyone else kind of wants the same thing, but we just enjoy doing it, and I think that's what counts. You know, if we can exhibit that while we play a set, and entertain some people in front of us, then man, that's our job. Really, I'm happy if they're happy.
hard.
Yeah.
I always found promo so hard, bro. I put you on the spot there.
If I was on stage, right? If I had drumsticks in my hand, I'd have no trouble because
Yeah, no, you are good live, mate.
you've got the grip of what it is you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
You know.
And you've that's what you're there for. You know,
That's it.
you're playing a certain
big
role
and
on
loud
stage. Okay, let's see if my laptop wants to work for us today. We've got a not responding so far. Fuck, technology sucks now. It's so shit.
It's bullshit, eh? Yeah. I almost feel like
What
it's
is,
going
what is
backwards.
this shit? Okay, here we go. So I've got this test called the high virtue test. And so you just got to pick like one side of the spectrum or the other side of the spectrum. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And then I'm just pretty much trying to collect data and just
Yeah. You gotta
make
send it
sure
to
I
the
can
CIA.
send it
and-
to CIA,
That's cool, man.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yes,
I love
whoever wants to
waterboarding.
buy it.
Waterboarding is my new hobby.
Oh, yo, I just got into it recently too.
Oh, bro.
No.
Where you just can't breathe?
Yeah,
It's
bro.
so cool, man. Oh.
Should we do something after this? You want to do something? Yeah. We'll do a little bit, eh? Okay. Okay, here we go. Question number one. Higher virtue test.
Here we go.
Okay, OCD or hoarding?
Like, which would I pick?
Yeah, like which one? Where do you live?
Where do I live? OCD.
Your OCD?
Yeah.
What?
Was that wrong? Or?
No. Yeah, sorry, you lost.
Damn it.
Okay, comfort or adventure?
Adventure.
Compassion or competition?
Compassion.
Harmony or honesty?
I'd say honesty.
Yeah, it's
I
always
like being honest.
It's always a moustache twist for everyone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Group or solo discussion?
Group.
Purpose or pleasure?
Purpose. Always.
Happy and sad or content?
Happy and sad.
Yeah, nice one, buff. Question or answer?
Oh. Yeah, question, because I'm not the sort of guy who has an answer for everything, you know?
Yeah. Power to the individual or power to the group?
Individual, because everyone deserves to be celebrated.
Cool.
Unless you're a
And
murderer.
last one here, bro. Yes or no?
Fucking maybe. Maybe.
This guy's living on the sense. Maybe.
There's a cool song. Actually, let's listen to it. Hey, Google.
No, there's copyright issues.
Really? No,
I don't
it's
know,
free
bro.
advertising.
Is it?
Can you play, I'll ask this again. Hey, Google.
I'm your Google assistant, but my friend AlphaGo is pretty good at playing Go.
The fuck, he's got a friend? Jesus, where'd you install a friend for him?
Dude, I tell you, this shit's getting crazy, man.
Oh, God.
No, yes or no? Come on.
I'm going to say yes.
Good, man. Okay, that's us. We're done. Out. How about that? Thank you, James Rance.
Fuck yeah, man. Sorry, I got clammy hands.
Same. It's getting quite
I get
sweaty in here.
nervous. But thank
Shout
you.
out to Broco for setting up and doing the sound.
Yeah.
That's Glencoe
Yeah.
at Glencoe.
Hi, Glencoe.
And
He's the
go
same
check
guy.
out Skelter. Thanks for that. We're clocking out. It's 8:20 p.m.
Woo! Let's go to bed.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, it's been a tough one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.